What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Many of you guys know that I am from Northern California, Sacramento to be exact. And Sacramento is right next to the Bay Area, and I was heavily influenced by, guys like the Loonies, 3 Times Crazy and Kick the Sneak, Too Short. But for me, the king of the yay has always been E40. E40 Fonzarelli, aka Charlie Hustle. And I've been listening to his albums for a minute, from In a Major Way album, Charlie Hustle album, and I even buy his wine, Earl Stevens. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm in Sacramento, like, I love E40. I love what he's done for the culture. I love what he's done to influence people like myself. Even in his lyrics, he's always tell people to buy, houses, buy land, stop trying to buy all these cars. He's invested in, all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Restaurants and everything like that. So E40 is, the embodiment of black male entrepreneurship. But despite being a rapper, and a very talented one at that, I know some of y'all don't like his style, but E40 has been married to the same black woman for 31 years. Okay? 31 years. And his gorgeous wife is Tracy. They have a son named Droop E. Droop E is a wonderful producer, especially in the Bay Area niche. And they've been, together for 37 years, but they've been married for 31 years. And they both met in high school, and he says, listen, him and his wife, they have great communications and they have similar goals. And the question is, for black men like me and black men like you, does black love still exist? And that's the fundamental question, because even though E40 might be in the hip hop era where, he talks a lot about, shootings, not a lot of that stuff, but he is kind of in that same genre, and he has a wife. And obviously I'm pretty sure, E40 and his wife, things are not always perfect. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of chicks that want to holler at him and stuff like that. But how many of you can find somebody that's going to be loyal to you like it was when they got married? And if you look at 31 years ago, that was in 1992. All right. Now, it doesn't seem like it's been a long time, but that is quite a long time. And many of us want to be able to say, I built my wife for 32 years. I built my wife for 40 years. I built my wife for 50 years. Listen, there's a lot of guys that want to be able to say that. But what is the difference between then and now? I believe at the time that he got married in the early 90s, in our community, we had some sense of what the community was. The last big mamas that were there, the last Medias, still have somewhat of a hold on the black community. We still understood what it was like to see our grandparents get married. Or even me, I know what a marriage looks like because I saw it with my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents got married in the 50s, and I know what it's like to be a man. I know what you're expected to do. I know what accountabilities you need to have. We saw it. E40 saw it. He also was there in the crack era, but he saw it. The problem is now that when things get, happen in marriages today, who gonna consult you? Let's say, for example, if I was married and, my grandparents are still living and I was having problems in the marriage, I can go talk to my grandparents about what's going on. And they can kind of help me as to how I'm going wrong in the marriage. But nowadays, young black people, if something is going wrong in the marriage, who do they turn to? Who do black men turn to? Are you going to turn to your mother who don't know how to keep a man? Are you going to go and turn to her parents or parent who don't know how to keep a wife or a man? It's hard to get mentorship. Everything that you don't understand, you need to get mentorship. For example, even running this YouTube business, I pay for consultations. I pay for help with my own personal financial advice. Shout out to my brother Pocket Watching with JT. I pay for things with tax planning. I pay for advice in stock picking, in mutual fund investing. Those are things I don't know, but I got to invest in those things, right? And when you talk about black relationships and understanding that, then who do you go to? And then also, how do you communicate? And this is what I figured out, guys. Being a business owner and having employees and having things like that, communication is key. And that's something that I think as a people, I just think that we don't really understand. Do we know how to communicate to the opposite sex? To let them know this is what we need, to let them know things are changing. I'm not the same individual, just like E40. As a young man in 1992, he's probably not the same person as he is in 2022 or 1991 when he got married. He's a completely different person than what he is now. That's what we got to understand. Do we even know how to communicate to the woman? Or does the woman know how to communicate with us? Do we understand what they need and what we need? And see, here's something that E40 and his wife have solved. How to effectively communicate. How to effectively put effort into keeping the relationship going. And he has a beautiful wife still to this day, right? She's been with him when he didn't have anything. And that's something that a lot of brothers don't really get to experience. Like, okay, can you be with a wife that loves you when you don't have something? Or is she going to show up when you have something? Is she going to be in a relationship when you don't have anything? A lot of us haven't experienced the kind of LeBron James love that he had with his wife or the E40 love. And I'm not saying that you can't get it, but it does take people, number one, coming from similar backgrounds. Number two, understanding that things are going to change. And number three, putting in a whole lot of work. And I don't know if men have a problem putting a lot of work into a marriage. But, the thing I'm really concerned in is do women want to put the work in like she has? Because that's why she's there. Because if not, she would have been gone a long time ago. Do you know how many women are pulling after E40? Especially in the Northern California Bay Area. He's been rich before social media. Plenty of women wanted to replace her. But what has kept her there? Her work. How many women are willing to put in the work every day to keep a high value man like that? A man who was a productive man, a man who was a businessman, a man who was always doing what he said he's going to do, respecting that a black man, yes, a black man can actually do something. He can provide for you. He could take care of you. He could always do those things for you and then stay in your position as his wife supporting him and putting that work in every day when he might be on the road, when he might be selling out tours. How many women are really to put in that work all the time as a wife? I think there's a lot of women who want to be wives because it looks good, but where's the effort? And I think what we're seeing is somebody expecting a talented black man like E40 to deal in today's world where women don't want to really do anything, but expect to have those results. That's the issue we're dealing with. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.